Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Boom Diekin, and in today's video, we're going to spotlight some of the top items at Pyroboom LLC. And as you guys all know, this is one of the top companies that I go to for firework accessories. They sell the Cobra firing system, Red Dragon, and they have some awesome mortar racks here. In fact, they have some adjustable ones, and you guys have actually seen it in a couple of my videos where I have the 24 shot mortar rack that was actually made by this company. Awesome work, never had any problems with it. But while we're doing that today, we do have a special guest, and we will get right into that right after this. All right, so joining me today is our special guest. We have the owner of Pyroboom LLC, known him for a number of years. And we have Eric Alma. Eric, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking
Good.
my call today.
No, thank you. I know you're busy and pressed for time. I know the past few years I was like, man, I want to connect with Eric and get him on the channel and talk a little bit about his company. But every year it's like, oh, we're here in March, April, and then May, and then it's like, oh shoot, June. Okay, crap, it's too late because
Yeah,
because
yeah, I hear you.
everybody, you guys need to know this. You guys got to get your orders in this month or before, I think, that was it the first or second week of June, because this is Christmas season for the firework industry, going into the 4th of July. So, uh, Eric, can you tell us a little bit about your company and what are some of the hot items for 2021 we can spotlight or keep an eye on?
Yeah, so the company itself was started in my head, you could say, around 2007, and I've enjoyed fireworks for a number of years before then. But I
Right.
really started stepping up my game around 2007, and I said, I see these tubes, these special tubes they make called HDPE, mortar tubes. So I bought some of those tubes out of a company out of Missouri back in like 2007. And I said, I think I can do this myself. And really, the purpose of me buying or ordering pipe and selling it was just to support my hobby, because fireworks, they're not cheap, especially this year in 2021. So in 2008, I built a website. I have an IT background, and then we
Oh.
sold. We actually had our first order in 12 hours, which was pretty awesome after we went live.
Hmm.
And so I had somewhat of an establishment, how people knew me. So that's how I got started in the business. Just really, no pun intended, but the business really boomed after that, after 2008, and we've grown. To my surprise, business has grown ever since 2008. It's just grown, and here we are in 2021, and we're still have every year we've had growth. So that's a little bit about the business. And then you also asked about some of the products that we sell. That I think the number one thing that we are known for is, when it comes to the actual product, is our HDPE mortar tube. It's the 12-inch DR11,
Okay.
and that is our most common item. I think a lot of people are comfortable building the racks.
Right.
We definitely sell a lot of racks, and but that is our number one product. And we've branched out a little bit. Like, we sell orange, and then we have a blue DR9 tube, and we also have 15-inch tube. But like I said, most people order the DR11 mortar tube. And then when it comes to the racks, I would probably say our 12 and our 18 shot mortar rack. And again, those come with the DR11 tubes. Those are our most popular racks. And then you mentioned too, we have Cobra. We sell some firing equipment, igniters, clip style igniters,
Hmm.
and just some other accessories like pyro pokes and zip ties. And of course, we would love to sell more fuse, but there's been a national fuse shortage. That stopped back in 2019. So it's
Right.
been a challenge trying to find fuse. But
um, I know you introduced this back on the channel about a couple years ago. Did you happen to get any more of the quick fuse back in yet?
we have not. We just, from what I understand, in 2019, basically all the Chinese, obviously, Chinese fuse was coming out, well, obviously China, and I'm hearing different things. I think it comes down to politics, money,
Hmm.
and then they just decided to stop selling fuse, maybe because they wanted to focus on rebuilding the inventory for actual fireworks. Because the fuse that you have in fireworks is actually, there's a lot of that is that quick fuse.
Right.
I'm telling my customers, if you can find fuse online or your mom and pop shops, just buy it. If you can find it, buy it. As far as that goes, so
Yeah, I just know this quick fuse, the new one that was introduced a few years ago for consumers, has been really hard to come by. I'm familiar with the Vlax fuse, but I'm not really too happy with that. But I really love that super quick fuse. I think that was probably one of your last videos you posted a few years ago. Excuse me, and I
yeah,
and I used that in
yeah.
one of my motor racks, and I was really impressed with it. I mean, the speed was phenomenal.
It's fast. Yeah, we call it the great quick fuse, or sometimes we even call it super quick fuse. This stuff burns really, really fast. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So sadly, I don't know if really anyone, if they have it, if they're about $15 a roll now, where they used to be about $4 or $5 a roll a couple of years ago. And so, like I said, if you can find it, man, buy it up. But we cannot seem to find it anywhere. I've talked to suppliers, different vendors all over America trying to find it, and
Hmm.
I've had no success at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about this latest item. I think we talked about this about a good year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. This adjustable rack, where you could put either mortar tubes in it or use it for Roman candles. I believe it's the Arc Rack. It goes for $84, labeled the Arc Rack triple thread.
Yeah, so that was a design that I basically took the rack. If a little bit of history, I actually had what's called a rack builder, where it gave the customer an experience online where they could build and design their own rack.
Okay.
As far as like they could add spacers, they could not have spacers, they could put their own angles in, they can even choose a color to paint it.
Right.
And so that gave customers some options to feel, engaged with the product and feel like, okay, this is their creation. Um, we actually stopped doing that mainly because it was actually done on Silverlight. So I just removed it. If you ever heard of Silverlight, kind of a flash-based somewhat thing from Microsoft that kind of didn't last very long.
I
That was the
see.
technology behind it. If you ever heard of, for all you IT guys out there, Silverlight, you might get a kick out of that. But so we've done away with that. And then, so what we did is we started with what's called an ATR, and that's an adjustable tilt rack.
Hmm.
And that rack can adjust from zero, from the center, off center, 0 to 30 degrees. And then from there, now we have, to answer your question, we have the adjustable racking components. We have the arc, and what that does is it gives you the ability to design in a way your own mortar rack how you want it. So you could make it like a full ATR where it has 18 shot rack,
I see.
and
Okay.
then you can adjust it. We used to sell wing nuts, and then we upgraded to star knobs, so that is much easier on your fingers, and you can adjust it, very easily. Um, and so also, to expand that, we added a candle rack and a
Right. I see
rocket
that.
rack in there. So those are all interchangeable that you can put in there.
Now, do you have the rocket rack on your website? I see the Roman candle rack, and I also see the Arc, but I don't see a rocket rack.
Yeah, I don't know if the picture is up. So let's see. If you go to pyroboom.com, and then we have our main banner image. This is adjustable racking components. You click on that image. You scroll down, and there it says candle rack component, and it says image coming soon. And then below that is the
Ah,
rocket
there it
rack
is. I see
component.
it.
Yeah,
I see it. Okay, there it is.
yeah. The best view to see it all together is to look at the triple threat. You can see the different components. So yeah, it's interesting because you can. So like we just shipped out a rack just yesterday where the customer ordered three of the rocket rack components, and then they ordered the end plate. So they really into rockets. Then we have, well, then somebody says, well, I want to have a variety, so they'll order the triple threat. So what's nice about that, we're trying to give the user opportunities to kind of create their own rack based upon their needs.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Uh, Let me ask you, how heavy is this rack, the triple threat?
triple threat's not too bad. It's probably in the wood. It's kind of interesting because wood varies in weight a little bit. It,
Hmm.
it is interesting, even maybe a pound or two. So we're right around probably 25 to 28 pounds, the weight of it. And so the width of it is, I don't have it memorized off my head. I think the width is about 22 inches wide.
Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, I was just reason why I was asking. I was thinking back when I ordered that. It was actually the 36 shot rack that I ordered from you, and it took two UPS guys to bring it in.
Yeah, that rack is heavy. Yeah, that's a big rack. Yeah, it's over 50 pounds. So
Is yeah, because like things are heavy, but it has like a dead weight to it. I mean, I have to haul that thing around myself all the time around the Fourth of July, and put it in storage and stuff. But I was like,
yeah,
man, obviously, it took two guys because they have a safety protocol. It's just like one of those awkward type of weights, but it has like a dead weight where it's just like solid in the middle.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting not to get too minutia with how they ship, but I actually had a meeting with my FedEx rep a couple months ago, and I said, "What's the deal with this 50-pound weight limit? They actually charge you extra when you ship something over 50 pounds."
Yeah.
And what happens is this is his words. He said, because it's over 50 pounds and people are getting hurt, OSHA has come in and says you have to remove these on a special cart. So it might have been some type of strange regulation. I don't know that 100. I'm just repeating what my FedEx rep told me. So, and that
Hmm.
actually applies to UPS, FedEx, and it might even apply to other carriers as well. So anyway, I kind of got a kick out of that. It's interesting. It's like, okay, we can't pick up anything over 50 pounds. We need two people now. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah, OSHA is really serious about stuff like that, especially wearing back braces and having forklifts. Because if it's over 45 pounds, it requires typically two people. But yeah, but just imagine, like when you get this for the 4th of July, you got to haul it around yourself.
yeah, 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 absolutely.
All right, so pretty much anything we could really spotlight on, any sales coming up. I know you're pressed for time and trying to pump out a lot of stuff before. Oh, that's before I even go into that. What is the deadline for people to order on your website to get it in time for the 4th?
Yeah, so right now it's pretty typical every year, but it's been interesting with COVID. More and more people are having backyard fireworks show. So here we are today, sitting on the 18th, or it's still the 17th, I think, in your time, but
Right.
today it's 1:15 a.m. here in Ohio. So the 18th. I would say um, right now we're aiming for probably. I hate to be this early, but we're probably aiming for right around the 7th of June is where
Mm-hmm.
we're going to say, okay, we're going to guarantee that if you order your rack or your tubes or your products now, we're going to get them to you by the 4th, all the way up till about the 7th of June, which I wish we could push that out to about the 25th. Um, people, people can still definitely order after the 7th or whatever date that is. I can't. It's hard to say at this point.
Of
What the
course.
solid date was, but that gives people a little bit of an idea. And also, they say somebody orders on the 10th. Well, if they order a firing system, we can get that out. But if they order, 800 tubes, they might not get those 800 tubes by the 4th. So
Definitely. Yeah, that's why I've been trying to push and push and push and remind people to do their fireworks shopping early. So that way not everybody's trying to jam in the door at the same time or get online or all their stuff at the last minute and, have you guys working extra harder than you need to. If, people can space out the orders back in January, February, March, get some stuff in because, yeah, I know everyone gets busy in June, especially end of May, trying to mail this stuff and get it out in time.
yeah, absolutely. Actually, we used to say busy season started around Memorial Day, but right now it's really we've been going at it. I kid you not, we've been going at it since January 1st. It's very
Wow.
interesting. People, I think, are euphoric after their New Year's Eve and they want to buy
Right.
stuff. Then I think there's some interesting uh, uh, buying habits of people. And I don't want to say equate this to toilet paper or gas recently that we're going through, and I certainly don't want to say that. But there's an interesting where people are saying, "Hey, I'm going to buy a little bit. I might buy earlier." So we've been. I can't. I'm really surprised. We've been very blessed how busy we've been since even 1/1 of this year. March was just a stellar month for us, and obviously April was as well. And yeah, certainly the earlier better. And you asked a question earlier about pricing, and I do wish people do ask us for sales and try to say it as nice as possible. The best sale right now is to buy in the month of May.
Hmm.
What's happened with wood? Even this past week, we've seen wood spike about just in the past, I would say 6 to 7 days, I've
Yeah.
seen wood prices go up about 10%. Um, and then the last quote that I have for pipe, which we have, 2 more truckloads coming in, our price went up about 40%. So sadly, on June 1st, probably into June, July, and August, um, we're probably going to see, I would imagine this will apply not only to us, but pretty much anybody that makes a rack or wants to build a rack. It looks like there's going to be an increase
Mm-hmm.
of sales. So the best time, really, if you want to say sale, the best time is to order probably in the next, I would say 2 weeks to get the best pricing. It hurts to see these racks be so high. We were used to
Right.
selling racks for $21, a couple of years ago, and now they're about 27. So the price, we just sad that we have to increase the cost, which is a sad reality. But like we talked about earlier, we have to try to predict and
Yep.
adapt as much as we can. So
That's true. I'm just curious. Last year, because of COVID and mostly people were working at home, there weren't any firework display shows. Were you guys super busy last year with maybe an increase in people doing more shows from home?
you hit it right on the head. We were actually, it was so unknown with, when was COVID really come on strong, right around the 1st of March, or
Right.
when we started seeing it. And then it was a lot of unknowns that were occurring for March and then April, and then we hit May. So we had about 3 months. And what happened is right around Memorial Weekend. So basically the last, week or so of May, we heard of just online and all of these displays, just a litany of them all across America were
Mm-hmm.
canceled.
Yeah.
So what happened is I think people said, we are Americans and we want to be patriotic. We want to have a get together. We're going to have a private get together with our friends and family. And because we can't go to these large gatherings, so we're going to have a small gathering at home. And so we saw a huge increase of orders. So last year, I do remember our cutoff date was the 12th of June.
Okay.
That was the last day that we'd order. So we probably have to dial it back a little bit more. And I think what's happening is you're seeing that even though there's still there's definitely going to be more firework display shows this year. But I think people might still be excited about, say, wow, they had a great time last year. We really enjoyed being together and lighting off fireworks. And we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again in 2020, 2021. So, I really thought in 2018 we peaked, but we grew in 2019, and again we hit a milestone in 2020
Mm-hmm.
with the number of sales, and so to answer your question, sales were up significantly in 2020, and we're seeing another increase in sales in 2021. So we're extremely thankful for that, and we love how Americans are getting out and doing fireworks, and we want to educate those people to have a safe and a fun time. If pyroboom can be
Mm-hmm.
any asset to that to help, with that, like remote firing or
Right.
building a safe rack, then mission accomplished, and then just enjoy some family time together.
That's awesome. Quick question while I'm on this right now, are you guys currently sold out of racks? Because I know on the website, as far as your 15-inch racks, it says out of stock.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
what we've done is we're trying to, and this was just recently in the 15-inch. What we're trying to do is I'm going to slowly start taking product away, which sounds awful to do as a business, but what we want to do is hone in on our specialty, which is going to be the DR11 tube. So, we have processes, and the 15 inches are a little bit more involved because they're a longer tube, and it helps us manage our inventories. And plus, we don't really sell a whole. I mean, definitely people order 15-inch racks. I know we have several of them up that we need to make, but we're dialing that back a little bit to say, okay, we're going to hone in on what people really want to buy, because I think most people can work with a 12-inch, and it's not a
Right.
must-have to have a 15-inch tube. So we've decided to dial that back. I think another thing I might implement as well, and I'm debating that, is to control. I say that carefully, but to kind of leverage where people can still order racks, but maybe we don't. I don't want to I don't want somebody to order a rack and us not deliver it. So,
True.
I'm
Right.
looking at our staff and saying, okay, I know we can build X number of racks. So we might say, well, we're only going to sell, X number of racks in one day just to balance our workload so we're not up 24 hours working building racks.
Right,
But
of
of
course.
course, yeah, if anybody has any questions, we will definitely, if, somebody's shooting early, say, what, I'm shooting on June 30th instead of July 4th or, Memorial weekend, shoot us off an email or contact us. We want to be as willing and flexible as possible. Most people, I think, now are ordering for the 4th. So,
Right.
but if if they need something, or if they want something, we definitely want to adapt and be as accommodating as possible,
Yeah.
to our customers.
Yeah, definitely. So for all of my subscribers and new people listening in, if you need to order some firework accessories as far as cannon fuse, mortar racks, and other supplies, definitely make sure you hit up Pyro Boom. And please, that's why I wanted to do this video as soon as I possibly could, because I know each day goes by, the deadline gets pushed closer and closer to the 4th. But everybody be safe out there with your fireworks. Eric, was there anything else in final you wanted to add? I know we talked a little bit, before the show, and in terms of, the sales or the increase in sales last year. And, I had talked to another fireworks store owner. We kind of saw some of this, and I had asked questions about it. And I know it really became a revelation when I saw long lines outside some of the stores in my area. So,
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I would encourage, if you're into fireworks, I would say if you really want to have fireworks, I would encourage you to buy your fireworks now. I don't know how accurate this, but I thought I saw a company last year, and I don't know their location, said there was an 8-hour wait to get into one of their stores.
yes.
I don't know how true that is or not, but they actually showed a picture of the cars lined up outside. So, the same thing. I know we're middle of May. Who's thinking about fireworks? There obviously a lot of people are, but some of those last minute, it's like, hey, order your fireworks, order your supplies now. And I just want to say thank you so much for having us and talking to us. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope I answer all your questions. And I tell you, I appreciate all the support of our customers, and we are very blessed. And I never knew that Pyroboom would be this successful. It's been a wonderful ride, and I love what I do.
Oh,
I
definitely.
do. I love fireworks. I'm 50 years old, and I told my friend Tim, I told him I felt like a kid when he was getting my fireworks. I just love fireworks, and it's a blast.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And for anybody wondering, yes, they do ship to California. Yes, they do.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if you're getting
yeah.
these shipped to California, and if somebody thinks it's questionable, remember these are not mortars or racks; they're flower pots.
That's right. They're flower pots. Yeah, this is what a beautiful thing about selling wood and plastic. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
There is no regulation. Yeah, we definitely ship a whole lot to California, out west, to every state in the United States we ship to. So
Yeah,
absolutely, even
yeah.
to Hawaii. So
Wow, Hawaii.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to see
yeah.
the shipping to Hawaii. I don't even want to know.
It's expensive. We use the post office. Yeah, we just shipped some tubes out. What is today? Last week. Last week we shipped out 50 tubes to Hawaii. But
Do Do you ship to Australia too?
we've not shipped to Australia that I
Oh,
know of.
ah,
So,
yeah. Now that would be a miracle to ship to Australia.
yeah,
Just so you guys
yeah.
know, like, let's say if you had a bottle of toothpaste or whatever, and you wanted to ship to Australia, I mean, before COVID and back in the day, it would cost you about $35 to $40 just to ship that to Australia.
Oh wow,
And
wow,
shipping is really expensive to Australia.
wow. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thanks, Eric, for joining us today. If you guys have any questions, they do have their own YouTube, and I believe they're also on Facebook as well. But make sure you go to their website, pyroboom.com. I'll leave a link in the description of this video, and they have a contact us place. That's probably the best way to get a hold of them is their direct website. Is that correct?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's the best way to get hold of us. And we are very active on Face. I would say number one is pyroboom.com, and then number two is Facebook. I am all over Facebook. So,
Perfect.
sir.
All right, Eric. Well, thanks for joining us today, and you have a good night.
Hey, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, you too. Bye bye.